Now we're going to work on how to create a revenue record. The revenue and expense sheets are fairly similar, so once I create the revenue record, I'm not going to do a separate video for the expense record. Once you enter the revenues dashboard by clicking on revenue, you end up with the same format as in the salary video that we did earlier. To enter an existing revenue record, you click on edit, and what we chose for the purposes of this demonstration was June 2011. You'll notice that the format of the revenue document is slightly different from the salary document. Within the revenue document, you have the option of adding a particular date to the item which you've entered, as revenue is date specific. You can also choose to delete or create subcategories. I'll come back to the subcategories in a moment. Once you've entered the item that you sold, you can also enter the unit price as well as the number sold. The revenue is automatically calculated as well as your VAT, or value added tax. You can also choose to enter details pertaining to your payment status. You may accept payments in installments from particular customers. You can enter those relevant details here to ensure that your records are up to date and that all payments have been collected in full. Now let's create a subcategory. The purpose of the subcategories is when you have a broad class of items and you'd rather not enter each individual one into the spreadsheet so that you don't clutter it. At the same time, you'd like to keep a record of each of these subcategories and see how the sales are distributed across them. So let's create a category, for example, sponges. Let's assign a date, for example, June 29. Let's go ahead and click on Sub. What you'll notice is that a subcategory sheet will be generated with a format that is very similar to the main spreadsheet. The main difference will be in the title, but otherwise the data is the same. So now we have our subcategory document titled Sponges Breakdown for June 2011. The reason why it has this title is because sponges are the main category name we assigned, and this is the item for which we chose to create a subcategory. So let's say we have foam bath sponges, and spa pedicure sponges. We can assign particular dates, let's say June, as we're in the month of June, and the date that we choose to assign can be, for example, the 29th. The year that we assign is 2011, and let's pick a date for the spa pedicure sponges, also in the month of June, but let's make the date the 30th instead. And this is also in the year 2011. We then proceed to enter the unit price. Let's say for the foam bath sponges, it's 12 Ghana cedis, and for the spa pedicure sponges, it's 15 Ghana cedis. We then enter data on the number sold. Let's say we've sold 450 of our foam bath sponges and 600 of our spa pedicure sponges. Automatically, our revenue information has been generated, as well as our VAT information. Just like in the main spreadsheet, we can enter data pertaining to the payment status. So to exit the subcategory document, we scroll to the bottom, we then save, and we close out of the document. Once we've saved successfully, a message will appear to that effect, and then we scroll down and close out of the document. What ends up happening is that we're returned to the main spreadsheet. So we've received the message that we're looking for. Now what we're going to do is scroll down, and then we close out of the subcategory document. And it returns us to our main spreadsheet. So we scroll down again. Sorry, this is still within the subcategory document. It hasn't closed this out yet. And in just a moment, we should be returned to our main spreadsheet. There. Now we're back to the main spreadsheet. And what you'll notice is that the total from the subcategory document has been pulled into here. We have our pre-existing data as well. And a total for everything has been generated. So now we simply close out of the document, and it returns us to the revenue dashboard. As I mentioned earlier, the expenses are identical, so I'm not going to go through that separately. Just as before, we'll notice that on the dashboard, since we've successfully saved and closed out of the document, it says it's no longer in use. We can choose to create new, and there's a separate video on how to create new documents. Now, I'm going to proceed to speak with you about the cash flow.